planet Dolan.
From complaining about your last meal to rambling about Jesus and alien motherships, we look at the 15 creepiest last words from death row criminals. Number 15. I did not get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this. Ah, the old last meal tradition. You spend years locked away fantasizing about steak, lobster, and SpaghettiOs. Sometimes you just can't beat the taste of canned pasta. At least that was a key thing on Thomas Grasso's mind when he was being led to death, and boy was he angry when the guard served him plain old spaghetti. Of course, the most reasonable thing to do with your last breath is to complain about your food. Don't apologize for strangling an old lady with her Christmas lights. That's no big deal. Never fuck with SpaghettiO time. Number 14. Go Raiders! Well, sports fans, here's some final words for you to follow, as long as you don't mind following in the footsteps of a convicted murderer. Robert Charles Comer was executed for murder and rape charges, but apparently had a smile on his face the whole time he was led to be executed, with his final words to be about the important things in life. Comer was also on record as saying, death is not that damn bad. Well, try telling that to the guy who killed Robert. I'm sure he feels the same way. I mean, dying's inconvenient, but if the Raiders lost, that would fucking suck. Number 13. I was once asked by somebody if there's any way sex offenders could be stopped. I said no. I was wrong. If you want advice on how to stop sex offenders, then you need to think like a sex offender. Just don't act like one. This is a confusing message, okay? You know what? Just take Wesley Allen Dodd's word for it. Dodd had been sexually abusing other children from the age of 13 and used his first-hand inside and last words to tell us the only way to stop child molesters. Lock them up and kill them. While that's a popular stance, it's creepy that Dodd really believed that nothing would stop him from touching kids again. A chilling look inside of a molester's mind. Number 12. The other joke is, I'm not Patrick Bryan Knight. Y'all can't stop this execution now. Go ahead, I'm finished. Who doesn't love a comedian at an execution? It's one place that definitely needs someone to brighten the mood. Patrick Bryan Knight had fancied himself quite the jokester, having a website while on death row called Dead Man Laughing, which was kind of a sweepstakes, with the prize being you deciding his last words so long as it was a joke. Turns out Patrick didn't choose any of the jokes submitted and decided to go for the I'm an imposter gag. He was then released until the real Patrick could be found. Nah, I'm just kidding, they killed him. Number 11. Let's do it! You know who's a really good source for corporate trademarks? Death row inmates, because there's nothing weird about that at all. That's right, the ad agency that came up with the slogan Just Do It was inspired by the murderer Gary Gilmore's last words. So when you see a Nike ad, think about capital punishment. At least I think that's the message. Then again, Gary was killed by firing squad. If only he had a pair of Nikes, he could have outran the bullets to freedom. Number 10. Capital punishment. Then without the capital, get the punishment. Need a rallying cry that you can put on a badge or a bumper sticker to protest capital punishment? Then take the words of John Spenklink. He used the phrase to sign off all of his prison correspondence, even to his last breath. But that's just assumed. John was strapped, blindfolded, and gagged before the witnesses arrived, leading to rumors that he had his neck broken before the execution. But these turned out false. Spenklink had used the line to highlight how the system screwed over the poor, and I guess they did one last time by denying him his last words. Number 9. Well, gentlemen, you're about to see a baked apple. So this is what happens when you have a love for puns and a lot of time on your hands. George Apple was facing the electric chair for killing a New York City police officer, and he'd obviously been thinking of the perfect joke for a little bit too long. But unlike Patrick Knight, Apple actually made a joke. Apparently, he also joked to the guards, "Damn, no power outage," when being walked to the chair. Sounds like he would have been great at a dinner party. Baked George Apple. Ugh. You know, if you ask me, the punishment fit the crime. Oh god, it's infectious. I can't stop with the puns. Help! Number 8. It does kind of burn. Ever wondered how it feels to get a dose of lethal poison into your veins? Well, good news, you sicko! Jose Feligas, who stabbed his ex-girlfriend, her mother, and her 3-year-old son to death, certainly doesn't get any sympathy. But his words do bring to the forefront what it would feel like to be systematically poisoned to death. Not to mention all the other times when the injection system failed. Regardless of your stance on execution, it's a terrible fate for someone to endure, only on par with having to watch an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. Number 7. Good people are always so sure they're right. The final words of a woman who protested her innocence would have probably made everyone in the room second guess what they were doing. Bloody Babs, as the newspaper called her, was sent to the gas chamber for killing 64-year-old Mabel Monahan in a botched robbery. The victim was repeatedly pistol whipped in the face. Considering the evidence was pretty stacked up against Babs, I bet she didn't think that bad people are always so sure they're right too. But hey, maybe I shouldn't judge. Maybe she had a really good reason to smack an old lady to death for money.
All the good people are bullying me. Pow, pow, pow. Oh no, don't put me in the gas chamber. It's unfair. You good people think you're so right.
Number 6. How's this for a headline? French fries. The only gallows comedian to beat George Apple at his own game, James D. French. French made the pun while being wired up to be executed for murdering his cellmate. Apparently, French was too afraid to commit suicide, so he killed someone else so that the state would kill him. Seems fair, right? Looks like French wasn't terrified at all to be executed with all the jokes he was cracking. But we are talking about someone who thought killing someone else to commit state-assisted suicide was a reasonable idea. Number 5. Hurry it up, you hooser bastard! I can hang a dozen men while you're screwing around. This phrase should give you a tiny taste of what type of bastard Carl Panzram was when he was alive, confessing to 22 murders and raping over 1,000 men, threatening to kill human rights advocates protesting his execution, and spitting in the executioner's face before insulting him were just some of the highlights from a man running for the most evil motherfucker in 1930. It's hard to know how much of what Panzram admitted to is true, but there's enough evidence in his behavior to suggest he probably did even more terrible things. Number 4. I'll be in hell before you start breakfast, boys. Let her rip! Sometimes it's not the words themselves that are creepy, but what happens after they're said that makes all the difference. That's what happened to Tom Ketchum, who was hung for trying to catch 'em all. Rob a train. Tom was eager to face the Reaper. A little too eager, it seems, as the rope cleanly sliced through his neck, putting him on the express track to hell. The decapitated body spurted blood all over and gave a new ironic meaning to Tom's last words, but hey, it's nothing to lose your head over, guys, right? Right? They'll never find the Charizard cards. Number 3. I'd just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus June 6th. Like the movie, big mothership and all, I'll be back. If you've seen the movie Monster, then you probably know something of this famous killer, but probably not her batshit crazy last words. Aline Wunaro said a lot of weird stuff before the execution, including that the police covered up her first murders to create a serial killer and something called sonic pressure, driving her mad. But this stuff about coming back with the aliens from Independence Day and Jesus takes the cake. Ah shit, is that what Independence Day Resurgence is actually gonna be? Oh man, spoiler warning, Eileen, you ruined it! Number 2. Tell me, after my head has been chopped off, will I still be able to hear the sound of my own blood gushing? That would be a pleasure to end all pleasures. A severed head of a serial killer mentally getting off at the moment of death. Nah, nothing creepy about that at all. These deranged words were spoken by Peter Curtin, the vampire of Dusseldorf who met his end at the blade of the guillotine. Curtin earned his title by drinking the blood of at least one victim. His head was mummified and put on display around the world for scientists to examine. Leave it to a guy with vampire as a nickname to find the bright side to getting your head chopped off. Outside of becoming a Ripley's Believe It or Not attraction, that is. Number 1. You can kiss my ass. You'll never find the rest. Oh boy, we finally get to the world's worst birthday clown with a disturbing taunt he threw out before his execution. John Wayne Gacy was charged with 33 murders among other bad stuff and decided to continue being an asshole until his death, with his last words taunting the police that they'll never find the other victims he killed. The words hint at the evil underneath the clown makeup, which illustrates the number 1 rule in life: never trust a clown. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Did you enjoy the video? That's fantastic! Did you know we still have a gaming channel, Collaborative? It's for Planet Dolan. Come look at us as we play some video games.
Like animation? Have some questions about life and the universe you need answered? Come check out Super Planet Dolan. Danger Dolan and I will answer your life questions. Links are down below.